Good morning, everyone. Welcome. We're going to give it a couple more moments for more people to log on. All right, as more people continue to log on, good morning, everyone from the Northeastern United States. And to those of you joining us from around the world, good afternoon and good evening. My name is Mark Linehan. I'm a webinar facilitator with Emeritus, and I'm thrilled to welcome you to our informational webinar on MIT Sloan Executive Education's upcoming course, Cybersecurity for Managers, a Playbook. So before we get started, I want to direct your attention to the chat box. If you look on the bottom right-hand side of your Zoom screen, you'll see a chat box there. If you could type into the chat box, just say a quick hello, your name, and also where you're dialing in from today. Hello, Maria from East Greenwich. Michigan City, Indiana. Good morning. Las Vegas, New York. Sherburne, Philadelphia, Richmond. Ottawa, Canada, Norway. Good morning. Taiwan, Orlando. Good morning, Fernando. Florida, Michigan. Switzerland. And more people are continuing to join us. So those of you still joining us, make sure that you say hello in the chat box. And if you could toggle, you should see a toggle there for 2. Make sure it's set to all panelists and attendees so that we can all say hello. Atlanta, good morning. Arizona, all right, good morning, everyone. So while more people are continuing to dial in, San Diego, good morning. While more people are continuing to dial in, we're actually going to start with a little activity today while more people are continuing to dial in. So because this course is on cybersecurity, we're actually going to test our password strength to start us off today. So if you could open up a browser window and type in howsecureismypassword.net. And then once you've opened up that browser, if you could create a password similar in complexity to the ones you normally use. Please don't use your actual passwords for this exercise. But if you could create a password that's similar in complexity to the passwords you normally use, if you could type it in the search window on that browser on howsecureismypassword.net, and then what we want you to do is go back to the chat box and enter in what your result is. How long would it take a computer to hack your password? And it says you have 10 seconds, but I'll give you 15. It's fine. All right, Peter got 6 years. And when you type in your results on the chat box, make sure that it's set to all panelists and attendees. 1 nonillion years. That's pretty good. 16 hours, 6,000 years. So we already have a wide range. 6,000 years. 85 billion years, 54 million years. $54 million years. All right, so as more people, as you continue 400 years, 34,000. So as you can see, there's a wide range of results. And the reason why we wanted to start with this is because the course is about cybersecurity. So we wanted to start with our own passwords. Because briefly, I want to show you some quick password facts. Make sure you post the result in the chat. Yep. Did that. Awesome. 19 septillion years. These are some pretty good results. So very quickly, the reason why I wanted to start with that is we wanted to share with you some quick password facts. You can see the source for these facts at the bottom of your screen. But over 10% of all the passwords that are in use today are just the same 20 passwords. Things like password 12345. Over 10% of all the passwords used across the globe are the same 20 passwords. The minimum recommended password length is 13 characters. So if the password that you tested, if your typical password is shorter than that, then that is below the minimum recommendation. And this one's pretty shocking. 40% of organizations and companies store their passwords in an unsecure location like a Word document or a spreadsheet. So very accessible to hackers and not secure whatsoever. So with that fun activity out of the way, I want to introduce today's speakers. We are thrilled to have on the line today Lauren Hogg, who's a program manager with MIT Sloan. Good morning, Lauren.
Hi, good morning.
And we are also thrilled to have on the line Isabella DeMombro, the Assistant Director of Digital Deliveries at MIT Sloan. Good morning, Isabella.
Good morning, everyone.
And partnering with MIT Sloan to bring you this course are those of us at Emeritus, and I'm thrilled to have my colleague Eric Newman, who's an Associate Director of Design with Emeritus, on the line. Good morning, Eric.
Good morning.
And again, I'm Mark Linehan, and I'm a webinar facilitator with Emeritus, bringing you this course. So now I would love to hand it over to Lauren to take us through the agenda and the course objectives and outcomes. Lauren, take it away.
Awesome. So yes, we are going to start out today with the session agenda. We're going to start things off with the learning outcomes, go into more about cybersecurity for managers, a playbook, talk through key dates and assignments, and then finish up today with the question and answer. So if anything is not answered during this time, we would definitely love to answer your questions after we are done presenting. Then we're going to first go over course objectives and outcomes. So if you wanted to click to the next slide, in this program you will learn how to select and use the right frameworks to enhance cybersecurity decision-making in your own organization, how to assess risk, improve defenses, and reduce vulnerabilities in your organization, and how to speak the language of cybersecurity. So create a more informed conversations with your technology teams, colleagues, etc. So it's a great breadth of knowledge in regards to cybersecurity. I'll go through our faculty as well. We have a great faculty for this program. First off is Stuart Madnick. He's a John Norris McGuire Professor of Information Technologies at the MIT Sloan School of Management, a Professor of Engineering Systems at the MIT Sloan School of Engineering, and the Founding Director of Cybersecurity at MIT Sloan. Madnick's involvement in cybersecurity research goes back to 1979 when he co-authored the book Computer Security. Next, we have Carrie Perlson. She is the Executive Director of Cybersecurity at MIT Sloan and has held positions in academia and industry, including Babson College, University of Texas at Austin, Gartner's Research Board, CSC, and AT&T. She founded KP Partners, a CIO advisory services firm, and the IT Leaders Forum, a community of next-generation IT executives. She is the founding director of the Analytics Leadership Consultorium at the International Institute of Analytics. And last, we have Michael Youll. He's principal research scientist and director of cybersecurity at MIT Sloan and is currently the co-director of Productivity from Information Technology Project, also known as PROFIT. Siegel's research includes the integration and use of information from multiple and the use of modeling and data analytics to analyze complex systems. His work has been published in areas including the use of information technology in financial risk management and global financial systems, cybersecurity, applications of computation social science to analyze state stability, digital business, financial account aggregation, healthcare information systems, and the list goes on. So we have a great kind of full faculty for this course we're very excited about. And next we'll go over CAMS. So cybersecurity at MIT Sloan, also known as CAMS. Just wanted to take a moment to highlight Research Consultorium. So CAMS focuses MIT's uniquely qualified interdisciplinary faculty and researchers on the fundamental principles of cyberspace, cybercrime, and cybersecurity applied to critical infrastructure. CAMS is also a confidential academic forum in which leaders and managers can benefit from the experiences of CSO and CISOs across multiple sectors. And our faculty have pulled from their research and learnings at CAMS in designing this specific program. So next I will let Bella take it away.
Great, thanks, Lauren. Yeah, folks, our cybersecurity faculty are so passionate about what they teach and research, and that really comes through in this program. So you've got a really great lineup. But before we go too much further, I wanted to speak briefly about one of the myths that is addressed and debunked in this program, and that is that cybersecurity is an issue just for IT personnel. It's not. cybersecurity is the responsibility of every single person in an organization. No matter who they are or what their role is, everyone is a contributor in the success of that organization, and therefore cybersecurity is their responsibility too. You can have the best firewall, the best antivirus applications that money can buy, but if there is not the leadership that builds a strong culture of cybersecurity, one that promotes password hygiene, awareness of scams, shared responsibility, all of that good stuff, then those tools are meaningless. With that in mind, let's talk a little bit about why this program might be a good fit for you. So from this program, you'll take away a playbook. It's a document with clear and actionable next steps to build a cyber resilient culture in your organization or even in your home life. This is a playbook based on your specific learnings that you can take back to your work. Our hope and goal in creating these materials is that you will use the learnings from this course and take immediate actions to protect your organization, your employees, yourself, your family from the numerous cyber threats that exist. And I shouldn't just say protect, because the truth is cyber attacks are inevitable. There could be ones already underway. Certainly you'll have to respond to one in the future. So you will not only learn about protecting data, but also about detecting attacks that may already be underway and responding to those attacks. If we could go to the next slide. Thank you. And I just want to briefly touch on the cybersecurity experience the MIT way. At MIT, our motto is mens et manus, which means mind and hand. Our teaching and research philosophy is practical application to put into practice what we learn. MIT believes in generating new ideas and building them to improve lives around the world. This is what sets our programs apart. We follow this learning philosophy in all of our MIT Sloan executive education programs, and you will certainly find that this cybersecurity program is mens et manus in action. Each week you will work through your module and then in the playbook, reflect upon and build on those learnings. By the end of the program, your playbook will be full of ideas and powerful resources curated by the faculty, your fellow program participants, and by you yourself. Carrie Perlson, one of our program faculty, feels passionately that one of the products of this program is a conversation between you as a business leader and your chief security officer, between you and your team. A conversation in which you can ask informed questions like, as an organization, how are we measuring cybersecurity risk? What quantitative and qualitative frameworks are we using for this? This program is a learning experience full of energy, engagement, and storytelling. Based on the faculty's extensive knowledge and ongoing research in the field of cybersecurity, this program is interactive and current. I'm now going to turn it back over to Eric, who will take us through the course.
Thanks, Bella. And I'll certainly second what you said about the faculty being really passionate about this information and passionate about disseminating it. I'm one of the course designers and had the privilege of helping them to organize this material into a course. So with that in mind, let's do a quick walkthrough of what you can expect each of the 6 weeks. This is, we're beginning with week 1, which is titled Understanding the Threat Landscape. In this module, you'll learn how to identify and discuss common threats and practices in cybersecurity. It's a very chilling unit. It'll send shivers up your spine, but also very enlightening. The graphic we're looking at right now is actually a visual from the module, and it illustrates how, despite our best efforts, the gap between the effectiveness of the good guys and the bad guys is getting larger. So while we continue to develop good defenses, the bad guys are excelling faster. And this particular point leads into a case study that's touched on in the course. The module is led by Stuart Madnick. It's full of examples and lots of insights about the nature of cyber attacks and why they're difficult to thwart. It covers topics from phishing emails to blockchain. And the goal of Module 1 is to help you to start to identify the risks in your organization. Moving on to Module 2. So the focus of this is the National Institute of Standards and Technology Cybersecurity Framework. That's the NIST framework. You may have heard of it. And the module discusses what the framework is and how it can be applied to organizations. The NIST framework is recognized and accepted framework for thinking about cyber management priorities. This module has an interactive case study about a manufacturing firm that experiences a cyber attack. And through the case study, you'll gain an understanding of the NIST framework and how it can be used. A great thing about this module is there's a guest speaker in this module who's an industry expert, and he debriefs the case study and discusses the framework around cybersecurity and cloud computing. And something very interesting, a little fact about this industry expert who appears in this module is he's actually one of the original architects of this framework. So he has a lot of great information to talk about it. Module 3 is called Measuring Risk Exposure. This one is taught by Dr. Michael Siegel. And in this one, he helps to understand how to identify risk and ways to apply frameworks for measuring risk. One of the key concepts in this module is thinking about risk as a combination of uncertainty and exposure. What might be called a potentially deadly combination. So as an example, we have some concepts of operational risk and how we think about it from the standpoint of people, of processes, of systems, and of external events. This module dives into a lot of granular detail about figuring out what your risk exposure is. And into week 4. Week 4 is improving defenses through systems and technology. In this week, you learn how to budget for cybersecurity using various levels of cyber defense, also known as defense in depth. This module includes a simulation. You're seeing a screenshot of that here. That's designed to help you think through issues of resource allocation over time and how effective that allocation is for maximizing an organization's defenses. So in this module and through the simulation, you have an opportunity to interactively allocate resources in different ways. How much are you going to allocate to prevention, how much to detection, how much to response, and you can see your output, how this would unfold over time in terms of protecting your assets and return on investment. So it's a slider interaction that gives you, an immediate output. Okay, and on to Module 5. Module 5 is reducing vulnerabilities through culture and people. In this module, you learn management mechanisms for influencing cybersecurity culture within organizations. So much of building a resilient organization boils down to people and people's behaviors, which are influenced by culture. So in this module, we look at a cultural model and see how this impacts people's behaviors and what are the tools that you have as a manager to influence those behaviors. A key component of this module is a case study about a cybersecurity initiative at a major insurance company. And throughout this module, you learn to think through the elements that contribute to a cyber-aware culture and how you can leverage those influences for your own organization. And on to Module 6, the last week of the course. This one is titled Reducing Vulnerabilities. This one is Building a Culture of Cybersecurity. Nope, I'm in the wrong one, sorry. This one is Exploring Ethics in Cybersecurity, sorry about that. In this module, you learn, you review a number of ethical considerations in cybersecurity. In particular, you'll explore the trade-off between privacy and security, and you examine an in-depth case study about Apple and thinking through the implications of various positions in this controversy as to whether technology companies should enable law enforcement access to its users' information. So big questions here are around handling complex issues in relation to balancing privacy and security. It's really a thought-provoking topic that people tend to engage a lot on the discussion board this week. So with that, that's the summary of the 6 weeks, and I'll pass it back to you, Mark.
Thank you, Eric, so much for that. So before I go into course reviews and what you can expect, more of what you can expect from this course, in about 10 minutes or so, we're going to be beginning our Q&A. So I want to direct your attention again back to your Zoom screen. And on the bottom right-hand side where you saw the chat, on the bottom left-hand side, you should see a box that has Q&A. It should just be a little box with a Q in it. So at this point, I would like you to start thinking about the questions you have for Eric, Lauren, and Isabella about this course. And you can start putting your questions in there now while I go through the next few slides so that we have lots of great questions for a Q&A, again, that we hope to start in about 10 minutes or so. But really quickly, I want to take us through some of the feedback we've had from past participants of this course. Even in each broken down by module, you can see here that participants gain something different from every single module, and they find them all beneficial in different ways. Learning about the structure of MIT Sloan cybersecurity, the NIST framework, the polling questions. You can also see here in module 3 about mixing up the student interaction. I'm actually going to take it over to the next slide and talk a little bit more about that. What's great about these courses is that it's not just learning directly from the faculty, it's also learning from each other. We really try to bring together a virtual classroom as a forum. So you're going to have discussion boards for brainstorming and resource sharing with each other. And so you won't just be learning from the amazing faculty at MIT Sloan, you'll also be learning from each other. And as you saw in our chat box earlier, we pull people from all around the world. Cybersecurity is a global issue. So you're going to be able to learn and grow from each other and not just from the faculty at MIT Sloan. And the thing that really makes this course special is that you walk away with something actionable. You walk away with a cybersecurity playbook that you can take back to your workplaces, and you can take back, like Isabella and Eric both touched on, you can take it back into your own home. Cybersecurity is not just a corporate problem, it is an everyday, every person problem. And this cybersecurity playbook is going to be giving you objectives for cybersecurity management. It gives you a NIST cybersecurity framework, identification and measurement of cybersecurity risk. It'll help you and your organization create a layered system of defense, driving a resilient cybersecurity culture, and it will also help you balance privacy and security, a crucial issue that we have as we are all trying to figure out. That's something that Eric touched on in Module 6, the balance between privacy and security. So essential on the issue of cybersecurity. And this playbook will help you and your organization and your family figure out that balance. Now, as you saw in the chat box earlier, our students have an amazing geographic diversity, but what's really a bragging point about this course is that we also have a great diversity of age and industry. So if you take a quick look at these two charts that are on your screen, you can see that this course is of great benefit no matter where you are in your career. Doing some quick math, 37% of course participants have less than 15 years of experience in the field, and over half have over 15 years of experience. So this is an issue for people brand new to the workforce, or even well-established people who are more than halfway along in their career. Cybersecurity is an important issue for everybody. And you'll also see that this is not, like we said before, it's not a technical course. This is a course for everyone, regardless of your industry, to be engaged in cybersecurity. And you can see that while you might think with most cybersecurity courses that they're only for IT professionals, 22% of our students are from IT, but we also have banking and financial services, healthcare, consulting. And if you look at this 41% that is others, you can see that that covers a wide range of industries, many of which you probably work in yourselves. E-commerce, education, energy, industrial goods, media, real estate, retail. Retail, extremely important for cybersecurity. With hacks into people's personal information. So as you can see, regardless of where you're from, regardless of how long you've been in the workforce, and regardless of what you do, this course, I think you will find would be a great benefit to you. And here we have some more testimonials bragging about how amazing this course is. again, from a wide diversity of locations and diversity of workplaces. Best part is the videos and especially discussions applying what you have learned. I really like the simulation of applying costs for cybersecurity. Interactions with the class participants and simulations help me understand what like-minded professionals face in their cybersecurity related challenges. So as you can see, our participants in the past have been very happy with what they have learned in this course and what they've been able to bring back to their workplaces. And when you complete this course, I'm going to hand this back over to Lauren so she can tell you what you will get when you complete this course.
Thank you. Yes. So when you complete this course, you will receive a digital certificate of completion from MIT Sloan's Executive Education, just for fulfilling all the objectives of the course. But as in addition to that, in addition to your completion certificate, that will count towards our 2 main certificate tracks that we offer. So one being the executive certificate, which is 4 courses that we offer through executive education. This counts as one of those courses. You have to attend 1 in person. 3 need to be within the same track, and this track is specifically management, innovation, and technology. So that is our executive certificate. And an additional one would be the ACE, also known as the Advanced Certificate for Executives. That is 25 total program days. So you can earn an ACE by completing the 25 program days. Upon completion of this program, you will earn 2 program days towards that 25 total program days. So again, 2 different options if you wanted to pursue that after taking this course, or if you are already in the midst of pursuing that, just know that this course does count towards those. The ACE, it will count 2 days towards 25, and we are grateful that we can offer this to people taking wherever you may be.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lauren. So from here, the first thing that we want you to do is we want you to mark your calendars. Now, this course starts on February 19th. Now, I know 2 weeks can seem like a long way away. It's 2 weeks from tomorrow, but 2 weeks can easily sneak up on you. We all lead very busy lives. So I want you to mark your calendars right now so that you can sign up for this course in time. Don't let those 2 weeks go by. And I know for some of you, you might be thinking to yourselves, well, 6 weeks seems like a large commitment. Well, we've helped you by visualizing it right here. It's not a long time. It is not a long period of time. If you're wondering what that date in red is, we've just marked off United States federal holidays to give you a frame of reference. But all this information you'll get in only 6 weeks, and the course starts in 2 weeks from tomorrow. So we'll be posting a link in a little bit so that you can register right away. But before I do that, I just want to summarize everything we've covered here today. This course will help you understand how to manage and lead in an age of cyber threats that affects everyone. So everyone needs to have an understanding of cybersecurity, and this course will help you do that. You'll learn key concepts around cybersecurity and learn how to apply those concepts to your own organization. And you will be able to create your own tailored cybersecurity playbook that will allow you to apply these concepts and create a list of actionable activities and questions to take back to your IT cybersecurity team. This is one of the most important things that this course will help you do. It will help you communicate better with your cybersecurity team so that you have a better understanding and can better communicate with your cybersecurity teams what it is that you hope to do and what the goals of your organization are moving forward. So now, if you've heard everything you need to hear, this link is going to be popping up in your chat box right now, executive-ed.mit.edu/cybersecurity/apply-v1.php. This will be popping up in the chat box right now. Go ahead and click on that link, register for this class right away, and that way that 2 weeks won't go by and you won't miss it. And now, it's right about 10 o'clock, so now I want to get right to the Q&A with Eric, Isabella, and Lauren. So let me open up this Q&A box right here. So Eric, let's go in order in which the questions were received. For information, our first question is from Modi. For information, there are 1,000 cybersecurity tools. Would you recommend a specific tool?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of tools out there. Modi, if this is referring to hardware tools like firewalls and virus protection, various things, the course does not get into that. It doesn't get into technical things. It's a strategy course, and it talks about frameworks and things. So there are a lot of recommended strategies to apply. There's not a specific hardware tool that's named or promoted in the course. And I'll jump down to your other question, Modi, about specific framework. Yes, we definitely spend a lot of time talking about the NIST framework. It's introduced in Module 1 with Professor Madnick, and then Carrie Perlson goes into a very in-depth look at that framework, and a case study is built around that framework, and a debrief with this guest speaker who helped architect the framework. So there is a lot of talk about the NIST framework.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, and then Christopher Berger also has a question about the playbook. And let me just make sure I understand your question, Christopher. So the playbook is, what the playbook is you take these learnings. It's one thing to hear a professor debunking myths and talking about a framework. It's very useful and interesting information, but the playbook is specifically designed for you to take that information and personalize it, so that you will know, okay, now that I have all this interesting, important information, how can I apply it to my own life and to my organization? What can I do tomorrow at work? So for a company, I think you talked specifically in your question about a cybersecurity culture, and it seems like your concern is it might be that there's not a real cybersecurity culture at your organization. So the playbook would have guided steps for you to take the learning about building a cybersecurity culture and applying it at your organization. So there are inputs. So it's not a book you read, it's a book you interact with. So it's telling you, take this and now use that information and distill it into a personal action step for yourself.
Awesome, thank you, Eric. Stephen has a question for you, Isabella. I think it's asking about the executive certificate and the coursework, saying that must attend one in person. Is that only in Boston?
Yes, we would like to welcome you to our campus in Cambridge, Mass, which is right next door to Boston. If you are interested in attending one of our in-person programs, I have posted a link to our main sort of MIT Sloan Executive Education site. You'll be able to sort of browse through our on-campus offerings. We do offer programs year-round, but the majority of our programs tend to be sort of segmented into March, April, June, July, and September, October. As I think Lauren mentioned, you have 4 years to complete your executive certificate or ACE requirements. And so, if you take the cybersecurity program, but you can't swing a trip to Boston for the next couple of years, totally fine.
Awesome, thank you. And we have a question here. Does this course cover NIST 800-171 completely? Eric, could you talk a little bit more about the NIST framework and if it covers this completely, or if it's more of an overview, or could you get a little bit more into the NIST framework?
Yeah, so I have to admit, I'm not one of the faculty, but I wasn't familiar with the 800 to 171. That's not, I think that's a specific publication about the NIST. But so the course introduces a framework, it goes through the various steps and talks about how to apply it to an organization. It's not, short answer to your question, no, I don't believe it's going to cover in depth what you're asking here, this specific element of NIST.
Awesome. And question again to you, Eric, do you think that this course is a good start for someone who's making a career change from finance to cybersecurity? Do you think this is a good course for someone in the middle of a career transition?
I mean, if you're looking to go into cybersecurity, as from a technical hardware and even software standpoint, then you might want to go with a more technical course that's going to, describe various techniques and tactics and specific tools to use. This is really a course about managing cybersecurity and measuring and mitigating risk. It certainly is important in any cybersecurity career to have this background, but I just want to be clear, if you're looking for the technical expertise, tracking down where a hack is originating from, things like that, and setting up in-depth protection around a network, then I think you would look to a different course.
Awesome. And Isabella, we have another question for you. Praveen wants to get a little bit more into the certificates that we get after this program, and also what the 2 other certificates were that you mentioned.
Sure. So at the successful completion of this program, you'll receive sort of a certificate of completion from MIT Sloan Executive Education. It's a digital certificate. The other 2 certificates are executive certificates, which is a culmination of 4 different programs of ours, 3 of which can be taken online, 1 has to be taken on campus, and they have to be sort of focused in one of our tracks. So that is strategy and innovation, leadership and management, and then it's kind of a long title, it's technology, operations, and supply chain management or value chain management. But so you'd focus in one of those 3 tracks by taking 4 programs, 3 in one of those tracks, 1 outside of the tracks for, just a little bit of variety. 3 can be completed online. 1 needs to be completed on campus. You have 4 years to complete those. And then our ACE certificate, or advanced certificate in executive studies, is 25 program days. And so that is, you can apply the programs you've taken to complete your executive certificate to the ACE. By program days, we mean traditionally it's been days you are on campus. And so we have anywhere from 2 to 3 to 5 open enrollment programs that you would come to campus for. For our online programs, we translate the 6-week commitment to 2 program days. And so this would count towards 2 program days to your ACE and 1 of the 4 programs for executive certificate. I hope that answers your question. It's explained very well on our website and in more detail, and I encourage you to reach out to, on the website, there's a registration email, and they can answer in way more depth than I can how you can achieve your executive certificate.
And Isabella, you have to pay for each course, yes?
Yes, you do.
And I'm sorry, I think I was reading this question while you were actually answering this question, but how long is the on-campus program you just mentioned, like one of those on-campus courses?
So they can be anywhere from 2 days. We have a couple of 3-day options, and then we have a couple of programs that are a week-long commitment. I think 3 or 4. We do have, our registration team would be happy to sort of help you figure out if you're interested in coming to campus, you want to take this online program, but then achieve your executive certificate with 3 in-person programs. Our registration team can help you sort of plan that out, so you only have to come for 1 visit. It's like very possible to get an executive certificate in like a week and a half, 2 weeks on campus. And so, only 1 flight to Boston or whatever. So we're here to help you kind of plan that certificate out if that is something you would like to work towards. I do want to stress that these are non-degree certificates and programs. This is executive education. We are not at all part of sort of an MBA program. So just, please be aware of that, and don't think that these programs will sort of, be part of an MBA degree.
And Isabella, because this question just popped up again, how many courses for the ACE certificate again? I think I have it on a previous slide, but very quickly, we had a question about the courses for the ACE certificate.
So the ACE, because it is program days, it kind of depends on what kind of programs you take, right? So if you could take 4 of our 5-day programs and a couple of 2-day programs and get your ACE that way. Or you could take many, many 2-day programs. So it kind of depends on how you structure that.
So it sounds very flexible to me.
Pretty flexible.
So with that flexibility of time, I'm sure this next question that just popped up is also a flexible answer as well. But do you know, and again, Isabella already said, you can check MIT's website for more information on all of this. Do you know off the top of your head, Isabella, what the average costs for probably each course in the executive certificate program? It sounds like there are a lot of different courses, but do you know about the average cost for each course?
Yeah, I think our prices vary a little bit. It obviously depends on how many program days they are. So our 3-day and 5-day programs are going to be more expensive. But our online and on-site 2-day programs sort of vary between $2,800 and $3,800 right now.
Awesome. Xavier had a great question. How long has MIT Sloan been doing these programs, and what do we see for the future of these programs?
Well, I'm not sure how to interpret these programs. We have existed as an executive education entity for 30 to 50 years. I'm not sure. It's changed a little bit, our makeup on campus. In terms of online programs, we've been experimenting with sort of different online programs for about 7 years now, and I think our relationship with Emeritus goes back 4 or 5. So we are rapidly expanding our online program portfolio. I encourage you to check back on our website every few months because we seem to always have something new to post. And certainly our on-site portfolio does get updated frequently too. So, yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much for all of that, Isabella. We definitely put you through the ringer there. So thank you so much for that, Isabella. So friends, again, I just want to emphasize, take a look again in your chat box. Click on that link, executive-ed.mit.edu. Register now. You don't want those 2 weeks to go by and you'll miss your opening to take part in this wonderful course. I just want to really quickly thank my colleague, Eric Newman, for joining us today. Thank you so much for your time, Eric.
Pleasure. Thank you.
And I want to thank from MIT Sloan, I want to thank Isabella DeMombro and Lauren Hogg for their time. Thank you both so much.
Thank you, Mark. And thank you to everyone who's joined us today.
And again, everyone take an opportunity, click on that link, register now, and we look forward to seeing you all in class. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody.